Alright, so in this video I'm going to be doing some welding with the Harbor Freight or Chicago Electric welding electrodes. This package here contains E7014 and they're 1/16 diameter. It's 2 pounds of welding electrodes. The item number is 61752. Now the amperage range for these rods is 20 to 45 amps. And since I like to start off in the mid-range, I'm going to be using it around 30 to 33 amps. When it comes to AWS metal classification, just forget about the AWS part, because I mean this rod is not going to be for structural welding. It's pretty much just for projects and stuff like that. And since the diameter is 1/16, all you can really do is weld thin stuff. I'm going to be welding some 11 gauge material that I have here, which is pretty darn close to 1/16 anyways. So but I'm going to show you guys a demonstration of these rods, and we'll see if they're actually good or not. This rod is a drag rod. It's not like the 60,000 series or a 6010 or 6011 where you gotta whip and pause because it's fast freeze. These rods have high metal deposition rates. It's going to deposit metal very, very fast as you're welding. And I just wanted to show you guys really quick how easy this slide comes off. I really put a ton of welds into this material, and you can see the heat affected zone. I mean, this material is warped, it's gone. I mean, it's just scrap now, but I mean, it literally cooked this metal. I started on this one here. This is the first one, and this was actually the first side. And I ended up, I started off pretty cold here because it's probably about 10 degrees here in the shop. So I started off at 32 amps, and as the metal warmed up, I mean, it just did a really good bead all the way through. So after welding these two top pieces, I went ahead and I welded these two pieces together. I went ahead and went all the way around, and I did not burn through at all. And the rods seem to be best suited for flat types of welds. Who knows where this rod even comes from? It says it's made in India, so I really can't tell you specifics when the package itself doesn't give me any good specifications on those rods other than made in India, and it says it's for auto body repairs, which I would not use this rod for, but I mean, it does have an okay penetration, I guess, and I will give him that it does have a low spatter and easy slag removal somewhat, because you have to weld at a certain amperage just so you can get that easy slag removal. I did these 3 beads here, and as you can see, this last one was really hot, and there's just no way I'm going to take off that slag there. It's pretty much cooked into the material. Now this was one of my finer welds and final ones too. As you can see, the bead is really straight, has really good bead profile. You could barely even see any ripples. That thing looks more like a MIG weld. And the thing with that bead, I had to mess with the settings on my welder to get that nice looking bead. I ended up using a dig setting, and the dig setting was set for 7018 rods, and I was able to get that really nice bead there. And the amperage I used for this bead was 32 amps, and I find that 32 amps is the best amperage for that rod. If you have an inverter type of welder, I say, these are a pretty good buy, I guess, and if you practice quite a bit, I guess you can get some pretty decent weld on thin material. But I mean, to summarize that Harbor Freight or the Harbor Freight Electrodes, if you want really good results with these rods, you're gonna have to have at least an inverter, because the metal is so thin and it just warps, and stick welding is not really for sheet metal anyways. If I had to weld sheet metal, or when I have to weld it, I use the TIG process. And that's pretty much my video on the Harbor Freight 1/16 7014 electrodes. I don't think they're all that great. You can get some decent welds on thin material. I mean, I've proved that. But if all you can afford is a stick welder and stick electrodes, I guess that's good enough. But never will I ever recommend welding sheet metal or thin steel with the stick or arc welding process. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos, and see you guys in the next one.